hear me. This one is going to be a little different. I think I'll be able to make it home within the next few minutes, but it's Monday, so we're running errands. Also, not our regular time for going live. So let's see if anybody is able to catch this one. I think you guys are usually ready for, you guys usually, you guys, we go live Sunday. So if people cannot make it today, I completely understand. I am going to see if anybody can make it into this one. Otherwise, I'm just going to talk to myself, probably for a brief amount of time. Okay, we got one person in here. This one person who's in here is going to be me and you hanging out, I think. Who is there? Let me know who it is. Let me know who it is. This is Ask Me Anything. My name is Derek Ofaderungwa. Hey, Udo Nwanne. Peace, peace, peace. My name is Derek Ofaderungwa. For those who are new, I'm the host of The Medicine Shell here on YouTube and Patreon, where I teach Igbo spirituality known as Odinala. So I discuss cosmology, philosophy, spirituality, culture, everything like that. This is Ask Me Almost Anything. I'm open to whatever questions anybody may have. Okay, people are actually coming in. It's 2. All right, let's see if we can get, I don't know how to, okay, you know what? Because I have to drive, I'm going to set the goal semi-high. If we can get to 15 people, I'll go ahead and start talking. But if we can't get to 15 people, then I'm shutting this thing off. Ndewo, everybody. All right, Mystic Farm. Udo one day. I think Mystic Farm. I think you're on Patreon. So Udo one day. I was called to be here. I had a question about Iragu. Okay, very good. Okay, I'm ready to answer that. Once we get to 15, I'll answer the questions. I'm not real sure. Do you have a car holder? Absolutely not. I don't. Yeah, so this is a little dangerous. You know, we're living on the edge, but you know, we'll make it. No, I don't have a car holder. I just haven't prioritized getting one. So, ndewo. All right, so we got 7 people in here. If we can get to 15 people, I'll go ahead and get started. Otherwise, we're shutting this thing off. For those who don't know, again, my name is Derek Ofaderungwa. If you want to support the Medicine Shell, the best way to join the community is at www.patreon.com. www.patreon.com. Get on the Patreon. We just had an incredible group study. At least I liked it anyway. We had a good group study. I posted the topic of it on the notes here on YouTube. I'm going to start doing that more often. I used to do it, and I don't know why I fell out of the habit. But we had a good group discussion on Patreon not too long ago. But outside of the group discussions on Patreon, you get full access to my research library. So we've got hundreds of books, documents, different things you can use to learn. And whoa, why do I have 47 people in here? Why do I have 47 people in here? All right, I guess we got to get started then. Phoenix, and thank you for that. Phoenix, are you able to pin the Patreon up to the top? I want everybody on Patreon. Because if I start getting too energized on here, I start giving YouTube more reasons to shut this channel down. So I want everybody on Patreon. But Phoenix, if you can pin that to, yeah, what the hell was that? Maybe I need to go live on Monday more often. All right, you say, let's go ahead and begin. All right. So I'm going to say blessings, and then we're going to go ahead and start. Okay. Okike keruwa. Alabuala. Ala nne mmadụ na nne mmụọ. Ala ji ụzọ nke. Ala na-enye ndụ. Ala anyị soro na-aga. Ala anyị si abịa. Ụmụ gị abịala. Ọkwa obi ọcha ka anyị ji na-ekele gị. Ọkwa aka ọcha ka anyị ji na-ekele gị. Ọkwa ije Chineke ka anyị ji na-ekele gị. Maka na asị na ebe ọbụla mmadụ gara, ọwa ala ka anyị ga-afụ. Nna anyị siri gị abịa. I got Turugi Ugu. Aha m bụ Duru Ofaderungwa. Abum Okpara Ajala Awo Mama na mmiri njaba. Ejikwere m obiọma na-ekele ụmụ ndị eke, ndị orie, ndị afọ na ndị nkwọ, ndị mbụ na ndị egede, ndị mmadụ na ndị mmụọ. Okwu taa anyị ga-enye anyị udo. Okwu taa anyị ga-enye anyị akụ na ụba. Okwu nta anyị ga-enye anyị nke ọbụla Chineke eketara ka anyị ghọta n'ụwa. Otu a ka ọ ga-adị n'eke na orie n'afọ na nkwọ. Ise, I don't have my bell, so I'm like, Ise. All right, y'all. We are damn, 59 people. What the hell is everybody doing in here? All right, y'all. So obviously there's a lot of new people in here. My name is Derek Ofaderwa. I discuss Odinani, which is Igbo spirituality. So this is one of them African spirituality groups. If that's something that spooks you out, you go somewhere else. Otherwise, any question you guys have, I'm here to answer. I don't know how I'm going to be able to answer these questions while I'm driving, so I'll be peeping and then I'll be giving long ass answers to make up for the time. Okay, let's do that. All right, so if anybody has asked me a question, go ahead and ask. So first question I see is, what the F is this? It is what it is, man. It is what it is, but welcome. Obviously you're new. Sit down or leave, whichever one you want to do. I think you'll have a good time. We always have really good discussions here, right? So first question was, what the F is this? Please pray for my marriage, my job. Okay. Wow, okay. Damu, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do that when I get home, okay? I'm going to do that when I get home, and I'll do it here on Patreon. So, or not Patreon, sorry, on YouTube. But I will do that for you when I get home. I don't know if the little heart thing works where when you click the hearts, they start flying on the screen. Does that thing still work? Let me see if I can turn this on. All right, there. Does the little heart thing still work? Like, I'm not seeing any. Okay. I don't think it's working. I don't think it's working. All right, there we go. You say. Someone said 'tis the season. Y'all, where's the questions at? I need you guys to put the questions in capital letters too, because I'm not about to read. I'm not about to do too much reading. I'm trying to drive between a bunch of orange cones right now. I wish I could show you guys the road. Run, policeman behind you. It says it's reconnecting, so I don't know if I missed you guys, but I just saw a really good question that said, do you think your soul comes from somewhere else other than here? I think your soul is a vital ingredient to existence itself. I think your soul is a vital ingredient to existence itself, right? So what do I mean by this? I think that everything that makes that you are comprised of also exists in the universe, okay? Everything you are comprised of also exists in the universe. So the way you have a soul, this concept of soul or this entity or this material, whatever you want to call it, right? This essence, let's call it an essence. This essence that we're calling soul, it's everywhere. Just the same way I'm comprised of carbon, and carbon is everywhere. I'm comprised of part hydrogen, part nitrogen. It's all everywhere, that kind of thing, right? So all of these things are consciousness. It's not exclusive to us. It would almost be ridiculous to me, right? It would be ridiculous to believe that that consciousness is a rarity in the universe, right? Now, as far as Odinani, we don't really talk too much about the soul because we don't use that phrase, right? But I've had very reputable people translate the soul to the concept of the Chihuahua, right? Chihuahua is also referred to as your Agu, This is the part of you that is tapped into and connected to the consciousness of the universe. And this is also the part of you that comes into existence for a reason or for a purpose, holding your purpose, holding your reason, and understanding your essence and how it connects to the bigger picture. This part of you continues to come into the world again and again after you pass and so forth, right? And if anybody wants to discuss how that happens or what my proof is and so forth, then I'm all for it. Because like I said, all of these things are vital elements of existence itself, right? And so do I believe that the soul comes from somewhere? Of course, but wherever it came from is also where we came from. And we are comprised of the same matter, or not same matter, the same essence, the same makeup that original source carried, right? The Christians say made in its image, that kind of thing. So that's my answer for that. What's up, Unc? Spit some life wisdom on a young buck like myself, right? All right, man, I hope I can do that for you. If you have specific questions, I'll answer that for you 100%. If you have specific topics, you don't even have to have a question, right? Odinani perspective on being laid off. that hey, the Udinati perspective on being laid off. Very, very good, very, very good question, right? All right, so if you understand in Odinani, we have this concept known as akaraka. Akaraka. Akaraka translates to the etchings on your palm, right? The etchings on your palm, meaning that you are born with this specific signature that you can read on your palm and read all over your body, but it's also unique to you, right? Now, akaraka doesn't just mean the etchings on your palm. It refers to this concept that your life story has already been written, right? Your life story has already been written. And because your life story has already, man, Monday is wild. Monday. Phoenix, remember, I know you're Phoenix, remember, if they're not being racial, sexist, or homophobic, I'm cool with whatever they're saying, even if it's cool. It's all discussion, right? And so when it comes to things like being laid off, losing your job, all that stuff, right? The story has already been written. We're essentially walking through a room that is already furnished with the lights off. And if you bump into something, all it does is tell you that this is not the path, that this road is not open, that this is not the door, this is not the light switch you were looking for. And that pivot, even though it's painful, even though at the moment you have a lot of feelings of self-doubt, self-defeat, all of the thoughts that you've probably been running from start crawling around once something like things and taking over. It's okay. It has to be, right? This is the part of the story where you close this door and move on to another. I will say this: the author of that story is your chi, and your chi does not lose. So when you meet defeats, you welcome defeat as wisdom, because it is showing you that this is not your chi. Your chi didn't. This is not the road that was paved for you. There's a damn couch in the way. This is not the light switch. You know, you bumped into it. All right, pivot and keep moving. So pivot and keep moving, right? Pivot and keep moving. You understand? Whoa, I don't know why my thing is so foggy. Hold on. All right, so I can't read questions in capital letters. Questions in capital letters. Yeah, no, Phoenix, if they're wilding out, let them wild out. Making people uncomfortable. Even if they're dissing me, even if they're talking easy about me. Okay, Agon or Chi, which one do you follow? Your Agon and your Chi are doing the same thing. That's like saying, which one do I follow, my heartbeat or my bloodstream, right? It's all the same organism. It's all the same thing, right? Your Agon is not going to move in a different direction than your Chi. Your Agon is not going to move in a different direction than your Chi. It's all one and the same thing. It's all one and the same thing, okay? So as far as which one came first, chicken or the egg, your Chi comes first. Your Chi comes first, and then your Chi creates your Agon then becomes a part of the creation of you. So yeah. Damn, I see the little hearts floating. Da, 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 da. There's the way that seems right. You know, I'm only answering, okay, I see a question mark. Put those questions in capital letters, y'all. I'm driving, so I can't really multitask too much. I'm going to glance down a little bit. If I don't see some capital letters, I'll keep scrolling, okay? So, all right, hold on. So people are rude on this live. What's going on with you guys? It's Monday. We usually don't do this on Monday. And you have to remember what the internet is, right? The internet is where people go when they're anxious. People go on the internet when they're anxious, when they don't want to think. Maybe they're stressed, which is also part of anxiety, and they want to just unwind, right? They want to feel something. They want to feel some type of catharsis, right? And it's easy to create catharsis online. And so you can see it because look at Alive on Monday. Look how wild Alive on Monday is compared to Alive on any other day, right? So it's okay. That's what people do, right? I was 19 years old at one point as well, right? But it may be something that we have to get used to, because I have been considering going live during the weekday instead of the weekend, right? So I don't know where them 40 people came from, but that was interesting. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go all the way. I'm reaching. So I'm gonna go to the top and I'm gonna see. I'm gonna go to the top and I'm gonna I run out. Okay. I'll do my. I tried my best to answer questions while driving and not crashing. I think I did a decent job. All right. El Salvador, say la vie. All right. So this is how we're gonna do this today. Okay. Okay. Where are we at? Yeah, this one is wild. Maybe there's a reason. Your charisma is contagious. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. Cool, man. Patreon, let's go support the village. Support that village, baby. Let's go. Join the village. Join the village. Join the village. Right? I know it's a good live when I end the live thinking YouTube's about to start suppressing or blocking my channel. So I actively provoke issues with YouTube on here. Therefore, on Patreon where I'm a little more safe. What's the place to be? All right, so we answered this whole question. Somewhat, I have an offline question. Okay, if you can help me with these sentences, I want to get a tattoo for my birthday. Oh, I'll do my. Yeah, okay. She just message me on Patreon and tell me what you're looking for, and I'll help you with that. Okay. What is Iragu? Iluagu. So you probably talked to an Anambra person. So you say Iragu, right? Iragu is working with Agu. Right? So your is part of you that comes into the world for a reason. And when a person is ready to embrace and accept that reason, Iragu is a ritual and a process by which you are sitting down and you're calling your Agun saying, okay, Agun, come and speak to me. I'm ready to walk with you. Start showing me the signs of how we're going to do this, right? A lot of people, or not a lot of people, Iragu is typically done when a person is accepting their destiny, right? When a person is accepting their destiny, that is when Iragu is done, okay? Um, yeah, and that's really what it is. It different DBS have slightly different ways they do the ritual, but they all have in common this idea of calling down your chi or bringing your chi down, and communing with it and so forth. In the past, the Urago rituals are a lot more severe, but in the modern day, we all got work, so they calm down. I feel like Phoenix unblocked half of the half of the live. Yeah, no, I'm not. I have no issue with the chaos, so it's all good. I thought, oh no, if this is the same, I thought we don't want there. I was also gonna ask a question about agon process wise. Do you follow your chi or your agon first, chicken or the egg? They're okay. So how do I put it this way? It, it's one and the same. They're all the same, right? Do you follow your? I guess people use that. It's all one and the same, okay? But whether whatever you do, it's your chi, if that makes sense. Whatever you do, your chi is the driver. Your agon will try to say, hey, move this way instead. So when you listen to your chi, you hear your agon. If you listen to your agon, you hear your chi. They just communicate in different ways. Your agon is a lot more active in its communication, okay? So or not active. It just feels more like a human communicating. Let me put it that way. Your chi communicating is you got laid off. That's your chi communicating. Does that make sense? Your chi communicating is you got laid off. Your ago communicating is what do we do next? Okay, move this way. Let's do this. That kind of thing. Okay? Your chi is moving things even beyond you yourself. Odema. Damn, Phoenix was sniping them. Okay, I'm tuning in and you're driving while on live. I'm calling you live. Ah, shit. What's up, Unc? Okay, I already read that one. Ronnie, man, I hope you're still in the room. I appreciate your energy. Hold up. Thank you. Thank you. Odinani perspective on being laid off is very important because a lot of people are getting laid off right now. A lot of people are being laid off right now. We are now figuring out that a company's primary role is not to create jobs in a society, it is to make money, and they don't need your ass for nothing. So they can get rid of you, they would. Chi Agon or Chi, which do you? Okay, we read that one. What about reading the Holy Quran instead of reading your hand? I don't know why you do that. I don't know what that's gonna do for you. Make you go into people's lives and say Allahu Akbar. I don't. You can do that without reading that shit. I did my touch and follow. Oh yeah, yes. Yeah, shout out to my touch and follow boys, man. Shout out to my touch and follow boys, man. I did my people are rude in this live. What's going on? Seems right as long as you know. It's the troll saying weird racist rape. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, well then, Phoenix, shout out to you for blocking them. I appreciate that. Uh-oh. Everyone spam the hearts. Okay, I like that. I'm way behind, so whatever you guys are saying now, I'm trying to catch up. Outside methods, connecting to or building a better connection, right? Whether you want to call it your intuition, whether you want to call it your instinct, whether you want to call it your truth, it's that thing that is truer than everything else. Okay? It's harder to listening to your cheese as simple as eating when you're hungry. It's that simple, right? So, we in our society where you got to tell people, oh no, when you feel that thing, you got to go eat, right? But you feel that thing, let's call it hunger, for multiple different things in multiple different ways, right? When an environment isn't feeding your growth. When a relationship isn't feeding your growth. When a relationship is feeding your growth. When something that you're doing or engaged in is or is not you, right? There's an ilu that says madu chabachia or fun, which means when a person searches for their chi, they see themselves. So it's a lot easier to not listen to your chi. I'm sorry, it's a lot easier to hear your chi than to not hear your chi because either feelings of inadequacy, maybe feelings of like a fear, right? A fear of outcomes or fear of yourself, or just not being able to trust yourself. Then the communication line becomes foggier, right? Because your chi might say something, and then because you have not internalized your own sovereignty and your own power and your own um, capacity to be correct, and the fact that you're going to be okay, and the fact that you're going to make it no matter what. If you haven't internalized these things, then if your cheek says go right, all of a sudden all these other weird thoughts are going to come and make you go left, right? And then you'll see the consequence, right? That's when you hit that wall and go, okay, my bad, I didn't mean to do that kind of thing, right? So to increase your capacity to hear your chi, I would advise increasing your capacity to trust yourself, right? Increasing your capacity to believe in your capabilities. And don't externalize too much of what makes you you. Things are not great or good because they're being celebrated or registered by something outside of yourself. Things are great and good because they register with you. They resonate with you. They go back to your original source, which is your chi, right? So that's really that. What do you think about the reality lining up with your mind? Okay, like you said, pivot, keep moving, the same thing. I bump into the bed. I had to correct the course and keep moving. Yeah, no, 100%, right? Subtle realms, 100%. That's what it is, right? And sometimes we bump into the wall and then we sit there and catastrophize. I'm trying to say the word right. Catastrophize, and we start thinking that this is some type of measure of the fact that we're inadequate, right? Or something's wrong with us, right? You have this shark and it's mad that it can't go walking on a trail. You understand? Man, get your ass in the water, right? Get your ass in the water. The reason you're having a hard time breathing in this environment is because it's not your environment, right? Your chi, let me put it this way: your chi never loses. Your chi absolutely never loses. Your chi does not lose. And I'll give you an analogy, right? And I use this analogy all the time. Your chi never loses, right? Your ass can lose, but your chi never your chi never loses. So when you lose, it's your chi that did that, right? There's an ilu that says, when a group of people are plotting against you, your chi is in attendance. And your chi determines whether this thing is going to work or not, right? So your chi doesn't lose. If you bumped into a wall, it's not because there's something wrong with you. It's because there's a wall there, okay? And so we have this idea of trying to will our way through our existence. What the ancestors have been saying, which is that's just not how it works, right? It's not willpower that makes the plant come out of the seed. It's alignment. It's in the soil the way it's supposed to be. It's receiving water the way it's supposed to be. It's receiving light the way it's supposed to. It's receiving air the way it's supposed to. It begins to flourish and grow. You can't put a seed, I mean, a lot of seeds are resilient, but you can't put a seed in, I don't know, I don't know. You can't throw a seed on a roof and then the seed's supposed to sit there and you start thinking something's wrong with the seed because it's not growing. No, that's just not where it's supposed to be, right? Align, right? And it's easier to understand what it will make a seed grow than what would not make a seed grow. Okay. I said peace and wellness. Hey, appreciate you. Afo said hi. Hi, Afo. Okay. This is enough light. This is fine. It looks cinematic. Uh, have you ever watched the movie Arrival? It talks about the way language shapes thinking. Yeah. I wonder how that relates to Insibidi since it's logogram instead and read in multiple directions. Yeah, 100%. No, Insibidi is very unique because Insibidi is read the way you would read a painting, right? Insibidi is the way you'd read a painting. So you don't really read a painting from right to left or left to right. You look at what the entire thing is saying. You say, oh, that's what it is. Okay. And so that's a really good way of putting it where language kind of affects the way you think. I know that when I speak Igbo, my personality shifts in one direction. I'm questioning this idea of personality. I don't think personality is real, right? I don't think personality is real. This is a thought that I'm playing with. But because I know that when I speak Igbo, my personality shifts. When I speak English, my personality goes in a different direction, right? When I like for 5 seconds, I was able to speak beginner Spanish. And I noticed, this is when I first noticed it. I noticed that when I speak Spanish, I'm more of a, what's the word for it? Like, I'm a lot more extroverted and I'm a lot more, I'm like easier to amuse. I don't know how to, like things, it was very fun, right? And it was probably just me having fun with the language, but you notice that how much language affects the way you approach things and think and so on and so forth, you know? So yeah, 100%. Even with Kedu, so I have an Igbo language school. For those of you who are trying to learn Igbo, we're just wrapping up this summer session. And those of you who have taken classes, you haven't done all 3 levels, people come back. I don't know where you're going. Why are you running? Come back. Those of you that have a class or 2 left, come back. Why are you running, right? But even in that, a lot of the transition, especially in Igbo too, is teaching people how to think about speaking in a different way. Think about speaking in a different way. Okay. So, because the way you think about speaking when you're speaking Igbo is different from the way you think about speaking when you're speaking English, right? With English, it's, how do I put it this way? With Igbo, the way it is like the less you say, like for example, right? You can Igbo, how do I put it? You can say a lot with very little. Okay, you can say a lot with very little. In English, if you want to say a lot, you have to say a lot. If that makes sense. Now, some people are so gifted in English, they can also say a lot by saying little. But but with Igbo, the less you say, the more that gets said. The smaller the word, the bigger and more vague and more abstract. Right. I even was taught this concept that in Igbo, the number 1 is the biggest number because it's the father of all numbers. right? It's the mother of all numbers. And so because of that, it's the biggest number. And then I just never thought about numbers that way, where the more you get, the further you are from the source, and therefore the newer and the less it is, if that makes sense. So I don't know, man. It's interesting stuff. But no, I haven't seen Arrival. If I get a chance, I'll check it out. Like the new episodes of King of the Hill. I'm a big fan of that shit. I'm a big fan of King of the Hill. So if anybody's seen the new episodes of King of the Hill, I thought it was really well done. I think Mike Judge is super underrated for his capacity to write, and it's just some funny ass show. What's your favorite Odinani story and why? My favorite story. I like the story of the Hornbill. That one right now, but it changes. But the story of the Hornbill is my favorite. I like the story of Ojadili. I tell my children the story of Ojadili a lot. They like it going to bed. Um, so those are two that stick out to me. I don't know if I'm super in a storytelling. Like I'm kind of frazzled. This is very out of my routine. So I don't know if I'm like in a storytelling, whatchamacallit, but I like the story of Ojadili. I like the story of the Hornbill. And I also like the story of um the Dibia who asked Agu to know what Agu knows, and then Agu took his eyes and all this stuff. I told that story in one of my videos. I think it could be either ritual explained or numerology, or the one before ritual explained. Ara, Ara madness, mental illness explained. One of my fairly recent videos has that story, so some of you guys might be familiar with it. I've been enjoying your TikTok crusade. Oh, yeah. I'm in the middle of moving right now, so I had to slow down on any extracurricular activities. Those who don't know, on TikTok, I am giving. So obviously, TikTok is trying to make Africans fight each other. And when I say Africans, I mean the whole diaspora, right? I'm trying to retire the word out of my vocabulary. What the hell is that? But they're trying to make Africans fight each other, right? And so I've decided that I'm going to just say something positive about the different groups in the diaspora on TikTok. And so far, I'm trying to remember ones I've done. I've done Jamaica, I've done Black British, I've done Zimbabweans, I've done South Sudanese, I've done uh, people from Barbados. I think Bayesian is the term. Uh, I don't know who else I've done. Cameroonians, yeah, Cameroonians. And so I'm kind of going based on like who I have experience with. Like I'll do people I have experience with, and I'll pepper in ones I don't have experience yet. Like I don't think I've met any Bayesians. I got called a bus driver one time. A bus driver accused me of being a Trinidadian one time and saying that we think we run everything. So shout out to Trinidadians. I think they're gonna get a video next. My Black American video is coming soon. I have to pick a song for that, right? Because I always pick a song for each group, and about 60 to 70% of my music catalog is Black American, so it's hard to pick a song. But I'm in a big George Clinton kick. But then if I do, I feel like, oh man, I should have done that instead. But yeah, so that one's coming soon. But yeah, I've been doing that on TikTok. It's been fun. It's been, and it by the way, I'm encouraging everybody to do the same. Just go on TikTok. I mean, we'll see if you guys do it, but if you if you feel like it, go to TikTok and just say something nice about different people in the diaspora. It fixed my timeline, so I don't get a lot of diaspora war stuff anymore. I don't get the pretendian bullshit anymore. I don't get the we're actually aliens. I don't get none of the we're from Egypt, we're the Moors. I don't get no FBA nonsense. I don't get any of that anymore. Or like I get very minimal. I get a whole lot of like just like good ass music, places, people funny from their country and things like that. So like if I do a shout out for if I do like when I did South Sudan, all of a sudden I started getting a bunch of skits from South Sudanese people. When I did Ivory Coast, all of a sudden I started getting a whole bunch of stuff from Ivory Coast people. So yeah. It fixes your timeline if you're tired of diaspora wars. I'll do them. All right, question. What is the distinction between Chuku and Chuku? If you go deep, there is no distinction. If you go deep, there is no distinction. But John, Nechu is existence, right? Nechuku is everything that exists. Although that is Nechuku, we are in Nechuku. We are on Ogodo Komosu, the Rapa of Komosu of Nechuku. So everything that is this car is Nechuku. This is Nechuku. Everything I'm dealing with that is physical and real and a part of existence is Nechuku, right? But before something can exist, something has to not exist and bring it into existence. So it's in existence, it's pre existence. The existence before it existed, right, is Chuku. Think about Chuku as like the thought to write a book, and Ne Chuku as not only the book, but the impact the book has, all the people that touch and read the book, and the ripple it makes through existence, right? The ripple, the spiral it makes through existence. That's why Ne Chuku's symbol is a spiral. It's a spiral, right? So think about it that way. But before that spiral, there was that unmanifest intention to create a spiral. And so they are one and the same thing, right? If you want to know Chuku, you learn about the world, you understand reality, right? Odinani is reality affirming, right? It's reality affirming. A lot of other belief systems will tell you, oh, we have to escape the world, we have to escape our body, we have to get away from all this, and then we'll be happy. We don't do that, right? This is paradise. This is paradise. Nechuku gives you more than you will ever be able to embrace in an infinite amount of lifetimes, right? And so we embrace and we appreciate this, and we understand that this existence is divine, right? Everything is physical. Like I'll use terms like sacred and this and this and that, just to translate ideas. But in reality, every single thing is sacred. It's all Chuku. All of this is Chuku. All of this is Chuku. Just like if you want to understand my chi, you understand me as a person, right? Same thing. So udo one them udo. Not quite half. No, Phoenix. It sounds like you've been doing a good job. So don't let me steer you off. I'll do my. Somebody asked what language. Igbo. Agua, not hearing. Agun is the term. Agun is the term. Agun is the part of your essence that is tapped into the mind of the universe, that is all knowing, all seeing, all being. And it is immortal, right? The term Agun means without end. It continues to return into the world after death again and again and again, right? Odemba, who look like purple Aki. What? Bro, where are you at? Cuz your service be bugging. Oh, I'm out in them cornfields. I'm out in them cornfields. Uh you were freezing, but it's okay, yes. Ndewo, what a great surprise. Ndewo Jermaine, good seeing you. Very good seeing you. Can I please ask what you're talking about? I am talking about Odinani, right? So this is ancestral philosophy, ancestral spirituality. It is a perspective on understanding and embracing reality from the Igbo people. So if you are interested, you are very welcome to join the conversation. You can ask any random ass question you want, but this is called Ask Me Almost Anything. So nothing too weird. All right, it is, and we have a different definition of weird here, right? If you're seeing things, that's normal for us, right? So yeah, is it toxic to ghost someone twice? I've been seeing this guy for a while after I ghosted him once, but now I'm not feeling it. Is there a reason you can't just say, "Hey, I don't think this is gonna work," or "Hey, you're cool, but it's just I'm not feeling it," and that kind of thing? You know? There's no reason to say, "Hey, I'll be over here," wink, wink, and then they show up and you just aren't there. Yeah, but I mean, I get it. We're becoming a less confrontational culture, and so that's the consequences of it. People don't want to be the person who says something that makes some, but they would rather do the thing that makes you mad, which is ghosting you. So I would personally let the person know, "Hey, it's not going to work out." But there's no reason stringing the person along. Let that person go find happiness. You can then have the guilt off of your shoulder and that kind of thing, right? So This guy looks like he's been rendered by PM. Hey, that's funny as hell, man. God, I am sweating in here, but it's all good. I'll do my. Someone said, Lily, what's up? What are you talking about? I'm so okay. We're moving past Lily. You'll catch up. Uh, your chi, right? You're talking about life force. Okay, so Macroon Sykes. I think I'm saying your name right. I hope I'm saying your name right. Correct me if I'm wrong. So in the Chinese tradition, I know your qi or your chi, as they say it in the West, is your life force. In the Igbo context, that life force is called ikenga. It's called ikenga, right? Your chi is something that gives you your ikenga, but it's not necessarily your ikenga. It's where your life force comes from. It's the source that your life force comes from, but it's not necessarily your life force, right? But I mean, you can say if it comes from it, then it's one and the same thing, right? So that's also a point too. But your chi in the Chinese tradition, the chi or the kui is your vital energy, life force. So that is closer to what we refer to as ikenga. Ikenga, your kinetic power, your kinetic energy, your ability to move and do and actualize, right? So yeah. Are you using a phone? A potato as a phone. No, I promise y'all I have a good ass phone. But it's glitchy. I've been driving around, and if you guys knew where I lived, you'd laugh, right? You'd be like, "Oh, I'm surprised you even have a." So we're doing the best we can. As long as you guys can, you guys hear me? If you guys can hear me, hit the heart button. I'm like super behind on the comments. I'm trying to read all the comments. If you guys can hear me well, hit the heart button. Hit that little heart thing. Hit that little heart. I'm not seeing it, so maybe nobody can hear me. All I can see is white eyes in the dark. Yeah, it's dark, stupid. Bro, it feels like we're reading the dictionaries. Yeah, sometimes it feels like that, Lily. What's wrong with that feeling? Yeah. All right. So, bro, I can only hear so much. What is he talking? Man, who the hell is this? You don't calm your ass down. All right. So I keep thinking it's a question. It's just Lily being confused. All right. Where are we? Megan N. Hi, how are you? I am good, Megan N. Very nice to see you. I know I'm very late in responding to everybody's questions. But here we are. I'm trying to catch up from the drive. Okay, I'm looking for question marks and capital letters. This is an ask almost anything, mostly focus on Odinani. Bro, it's only okay. All right. Is Indiotsu different from Obanje? Yes. So Obanje can be a part of your Indiotsu, but Indiotsu is not Obanje. Some people have Obanje in their Indiotsu. What is Indiotsu? Indiotsu are the essence existence with. So you don't come alone, of course, right? You come in with a whole bunch of different things that ride your boat that come in with you. And sometimes an Obanje is one of them, right? Um, but I don't get into the Ndio2 stuff too much. Ba, 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 ba. Is the Ibonga root used in your tradition? I believe it is. Yeah, I believe it is. I've never used it, not seen it used, but I know that the same place that it comes from is connected to the Ekbe Society, and the Ekbe Society has certain routes that they use that they don't make public, and I think that that's one of them, right? Um, there's a connection between the Ibonga and this term Nganga, which is a very powerful medicine, which in Central Africa is like I'm also used to say a medicine person. And so I have a strong belief that they use it in especially in Ekbe, but I've never used it myself. So yeah, I'm gonna say yes. Methods to connect you to your Agho. Or is that the same as your chi? It's all one and the same. It's all one and the same. The reason people even make distinctions is like for very specific functions and things like that, right? Uh, Initiations and different stuff like that. But it's all one and the same, right? Iragu is a good way to connect to your Agho because it's like the official, okay, I'm ready to listen. A lot of people already have a natural connection and it's fine. It's not, they don't need to do all that. All right, all right. Stop with the racism, chat. It's all good. Shaq, is that you? Oh shit, man, that's funny. Hold on. There we go. We get some light. So you guys quit confusing me for these random people. Derek, what is the rite of passage boys do in Igbo communities? Organize, or does it relate in Odinani? Yeah, so different communities have their different rites. So that enters what we call Omenala, which is as it is done on the land tradition. There are different communities have their different rites, but universally the rite of passage, and this may be boring to most people in the West, but universally for us, the rite of passage is building your home, right? The rite of passage is building your home. Very specifically, building your home and getting married, and they're one and the same. They're seen as one and the same, right? So if you go to Igbo land, you'll just notice all these big ass houses in like the middle of the forest and that kind of thing. And that's kind of a result of that culture. But building your home is a rite of passage. But then there are adulthoods to achieve after adulthood, right? So you build your home, you get married, and then you receive a chieftaincy, right? A chieftaincy is not just given. It's earned. It's typically earned, right? It's typically earned after you've achieved so much and you've actualized so much in the community and you've brought people up and that kind of thing. The community puts a title on you and you get the hat and all that stuff. And that is also another level of, let's call it adulthood or rites of passage. But there are communities where, because okay, so every community has what's called the obo, which are an age grade system. So all of the people that you were born around the same time as, you guys will be like a unit or an organization, and you'll move through different phases of life together. So I gave you the one for a man, which is marrying and building a house. For a woman, there is the coming out ceremony, which is when you see your first period, you join all of the women in your age grade, or the girls in your age grade that have also seen theirs. And then usually for most communities, they have this thing where you dress up. In the past, they were topless. My mother-in-law's older sister was the last person in her community to do this. So it's been gone for a while, because she's like 80 something. And so you just walk through the community and people just praise you and talk about how beautiful you are and how you're going to be this and you're going to do that and that kind of thing. And as they're praising you, you have a basket of things you give them, usually like eggs or just some nice, whatever they consider nice. And so you'll be handing that to people as they're giving you all these praises. And your mother also orchestrates it, and she's the leader of this thing that walks you through the market. So that's the initiation for women. Men have different ones. So for example, now, at the different age grades, you do different things to enter the new phase together. For young men, once you enter the warrior age, right, which is like late teens, early 20s, once you enter that warrior age, you receive an ikenga, right, your first ikenga. And it's the very simple ikenga, where an ikenga is this statue. It's this small statue that represents your masculine energy, your kinetic energy, your vital energy. And so you receive this statue. It's a very simple one. It's going to have a sword and a skull on its other hand, right? And then as you get older, you get new ones, and the new ones will be more specific to who you are as a person and your power in the world. So if you're like a great author, it might have a pen in the hand, one hand, and a book in the other. I've seen some with like a staff and a fish. I've seen, so obviously the guy was some kind of good fisher. I've seen the elder ones, but it still has the same sword, so maybe it's still representing the same strength and that kind of thing. But yeah, there are multiple different ones, but the most universal is building your house in the community, and then getting married. Once you're married, you're an adult, right? So if you're not married, you're not an adult. So and those of you who are Nigerian American, you'll notice a shift with your parents too when that happens. That's a good question. Rari said, "Can you talk about mirrors?" You know, Rari, we talked about mirrors for almost 2 hours on Sunday. We went into detail. We talked about proverbs related to mirrors. We went into the spiritual implications of mirrors. We went into the metaphysics of mirrors, how they're applied in ritual. And so what I'll tell you to do is to go on Patreon, and then, oh, I need to put the replay up. So I'm gonna have the replay up in sometime in the next 2 days. And once I put the replay up, then you can watch the replay of that discussion, because it was a really good discussion. We're gonna be having another one in not this next week, but the coming week. But we don't have a topic yet. So if there's a topic you want to talk about, suggest it, and we'll see if it's good enough for the village, right? Derek is too tickled by these trolls. Yeah, no, it's funny. Yeah. The algo is wildin'. Yes. No, I usually don't do this on Monday, so this is all new. Your voice is very nice. Thank you, Dr. Ball. Dr. Balls. Thank you, Dr. Balls. I appreciate it. Let me know when you want to go through the settings for pins and hyperlinks. Oh, I don't. I'll figure that out. Okay, no, I see where I can pin the message. Yeah, I'll see if I can get you more abilities. Right now, I'm really frazzled because I'm in a car and it's weird, and then it's Monday, and then so I don't want to focus on anything extracurricular. I was about to ask if there was a relationship between mirrors, the observer, and connection to the chi. Yeah, that's the conclusion we came to, John, at the end of the discussion, right? Or it's one of the conclusions we came to at the end of the discussion. That in essence, our chi is acting and we're a reflection. We're like the reflection, right? So that's why I say it's one and the same. When we were talking about earlier with Chuku and Ne Chuku, one of them's a reflection, one of them's the actor, the thing, right? There's a thing I saw, and I'm not gonna quote it correctly. I'm gonna start posting some of these things I see on the channel. I think that's something I'm gonna start doing. And so there's a thing I saw that was speaking about how, God, how do I put it this way? I don't know, something about physics where there's an actual actor, and a lot of this is a projection, and it leads into a lot of these theories about this all being a simulation and things like that. But there's actually concrete evidence in physics that says that that may be the case. There may be something acting and everything else is just a reflection of it. So we went in. So if you guys want to see that discussion, it's going to be on Patreon in the next 2 days, like up, but we've already had it up last Sunday, so I didn't know. I've never seen a reptilian like you. That's what's up. Could you describe what it means to call down your chi for a discussion? Yeah. Could you discuss the practice of feeding your chi? Okay, so I am going to use some examples that we may be more familiar with, right? Maybe from like religions and things like that. You'll notice in a lot of religions, a person has to go into some type of isolation. Man, I need to give more details. So thank you for the question. A person goes into some type of isolation, right? They'll fast, they'll do something to deny themselves of the world. So maybe they fast, maybe they're in some type of intense prayer, and so forth. If you think of the story of the Buddha, if you think of the story of I think Lao Tzu, the one that wrote Tao Te Ching, or the one whose quotes turned into Tao, I think he just went into the forest and just became a hermit. Jesus did this a couple times. I think Muhammad did it too. Just you get you get all these different people throughout history that do this thing where they go somewhere for a set amount of time, then they come back as an enlightened being, right? And so this is Iragu. This is what Iragu is, okay? Iragu is you're stripping all of the other stuff off of you real quick, and it's just you and your chi in some type of place. And in order to establish that very, very, very deep connection, it usually requires some type of self-denial, right? So fasting, extended meditation, just some type of thing that takes you to that brink. And once you reach that brink, that connection happens. And all these things I'm saying feel intuitive. You'll realize that, oh, okay, that kind of thing, right? So yeah, that is Iragu. That is calling down your chi. Now in the Igbo context, Iragu is usually done with extended isolation, but then at the end of the isolation, they'll do isolation and fasting. So what they'll do is they'll have you go somewhere, and I'll give you the different scenarios in a minute of where they have you go. They have you go somewhere, and then you'll be there for a set amount of moons, or usually until an instruction is given. Some people are given the instruction of stare at this tree. This is one of them that I heard of. Stare at this tree until you see yourself in it. Right? Stare at this tree until you see yourself in it, and then you just sit there and you stare at it, you stare over days and days and days. In this period, people are not eating. They're usually like using cola nuts to eat. If you're like married, only your spouse can bring you food, and you'll be just drinking like water and eating cola nuts and that kind of thing. Then after a while, something happens, right? And that kind of thing. Once that thing happens, after that thing happens, they then have a ritual where your chi and you sit down and eat, right? So some type of sacrifice is given, and you share a meal with your chi, your chihuahua, that kind of thing, right? But that's the big extended one. So some of the ones, for example, if you take the Ozo title is that you're going to live as a physical representation of your chi and your ancestors, which you, if you learn, are one and the same. You're going to live as the physical representation or the physical manifestation of your chi and your ancestors. The way that title is done is that you're taken into the Ozo room. It's a dark room by yourself for multiple days, right? After you'll be bathed in herbs and that kind of thing, they put you in a dark room for multiple days. Then after a while, they take only your wife. This is a title for men. Only your wife can bring you food, and then but it's like limited. What you can eat is very limited, and after a while they bring you out, and then they do some more stuff and you get the thing. For the Ekbe society, they have you go into the Ekbe forest, and they tell you that you can't leave until you see the seven spirit, right? The seventh face spirit, or the seven-headed spirit, or the spirit with seven bodies. They tell you can't leave the forest until you see that spirit. That is Ekbe. A lot of DBS differ. Don't do this at home. Don't do this because the guy on YouTube Live told you about this. Please don't do this. But unless, no, in fact, don't even do it. You know, do what you want, but it has nothing to do with me. But a DBA that I knew, they said that he said that they took him and they put him in the water, right? And they just kept him there. They told him, don't come up. Don't come up for air. Don't come up for anything. Just do not come up, right? And he said he was there, and he was reaching this point where he felt like he was gonna die. Then all of a sudden, he didn't need to breathe anymore. He didn't feel any pain. He was just like he had reached this different level, and at that point, he even thought like, okay, maybe I'm dead. Like maybe I'm not. You know, and then they eventually pulled him up, and he was just different from then on. So that process is just this process of reaching a brink, or just divorcing yourself of everything so that you can just connect to your true essence and your true source and your that kind of thing, your original voice, so that when you step out of it, walking with it is more natural, right? Then there's an Iragu that's done for people that have like, specifically usually Dibias, that have veered very far from their path, and it's kind of just to say, okay, I'm ready to listen, that kind of thing. So once you do that, you dream different, you think different, you move different, you perceive the world very differently, that kind of thing. You have a very soothing voice, no homo. Pause. No, it's all good. Yes, you were supposed to see, but I forgot about it. Justice for all Taco Bell workers. What they do to Taco Bell workers? Can somebody tell me what they did to the Taco Bell workers? All right, I think I've hit. Okay, if the Medicine Shell and Sirius Ugo were to make a comic manga based on Odinani, it would be my favorite shit ever. Very powerful voice. Oh, thank you very much. Damn, everybody is being very kind to me. Yeah, people keep telling me I should make a manga, make a manga, make a manga. Y'all make the manga. You make the manga. Make the damn manga. If you have any question or anything you need on planet Earth, me, Siri, we all want to answer your day. We all want to give you something, but you have to understand what we're up against, right? So we're all manning these very specific forts, and we got this, like, you know, Lord of the Rings, where they got all the orcs and shit. That's where we're at. So it's hard to say, let me leave what I'm doing to go over to that person's fort. But if you hold down your fort and make the manga, right? Whatever you need, you've got it from me. You and I'll go ahead and speak for him. You've also, because I know him, you've got it from him as well. So make your chi told you to go make a manga. Don't pass it over to me. You make the manga, right? Oh, I don't know. You're supposed to not know. Right? You're supposed to not know. That's how it's supposed to happen. You understand? Oh, maybe they would do it better. No, it's you. So don't give me your $1 billion idea. Take your $1 billion idea and move. And any question, any resource question, anything you need input, I am 100% here. Right? Somebody just wrote a book. They wanted me to do their audio book. I sent my audition tape. If he picks me, cool. If he doesn't pick me, cool. If he were to ask me to write the book for him, I wouldn't do it, right? So I'll do my. Uh, I would like to know why the use of bells is incorporated into spiritual worship. Absolutely. So bells. Okay, so what's the best way to say it? Bells have a way of inviting and expelling more spirit, right? Inviting and expelling spirit. So when you ring a bell, right, a certain spirit arrives, usually one that's been called, right? A more that has been called, you hit the bell, it arrives. You understand? You hit the bell again, it goes away. This is why a boxing match, this is why fights start with a bell and end with a bell, right? This is why churches start with the bell, end with the bell. This is why bells are so important during Christmas, right? There's a Christmas spirit. It's a real thing. There's a Christmas spirit being invoked and played with in that season. You understand? This is why when you're at home, you'll see Mao, they'll use Ogene to guide Mao. Same thing. You hit the bell, whatever spirit you're trying to deal with, you say, okay, go. It's a go button. Bing, and then you invite it. Then when it's ready to close, you hit the bell again and it goes away. So bells communicate with spirit, and this is something that's understood all over the world. Wind chimes, Native Americans use things like wind chimes, which are these bells that dangle, and when the wind blows, it makes little noises, that kind of thing. So yeah, that frequency is very important for inviting spirit. You also have to think about the octave, like the sound, that ding sound. And then where do you hear it in nature? Well, when things get that high in nature, it's usually birds in the morning, right? Inviting something, bringing something in, that kind of thing. So I've been skipped like 3 times. Oh, get you. You don't see me driving. You better type it a fourth time. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, go ahead, type it a fourth time. It's all good. Ogechi, what is the question? And I've also answered your questions too, so let's not do that. Uh, there's a group making a comic called Ani. It's based on the Ekumeku War. Rex, yeah. If they need anything from me, I'm here. If they need anything from me, I'm here. Creative Force says I can draw that. Do you see how everybody's just? Do you see how you just put that out there, and all these different people? I can draw. Oh, this person's making this. I can just see that. There's an ilu that says Mbe, which is a tortoise, right? Mbe says I wear my instrument on my back in case I encounter musicians, right? Mbe says, I wear my instrument on my back in case I encounter musicians. The way I interpret that ilu is whatever it is you're trying to do, let it be known. Whoever it is that you are as a person, let it be known. That ilu made me go buy t-shirts that have a lot of the stuff that I like on them, like the stuff I like on them, which is something I never used to do. Um, it's just so as I'm walking about, I meet people I have things in common with, right? But then that goes into your concept of the manga, right? You have this idea for a manga, you put it out in this live and watch. You'll probably connect to somebody who wants to do it with you. I'll do my. I'm almost done with Children of Blood and Bone #3. I'd love an Odinani book too. Yeah, that'd be okay. That'd be cool. I'm actually writing a book now, but it's more of like a I don't think it's like a Y. It's not like a YA. It's not like a YA. But I'm writing a story. I've been writing it for a long time. I've actually finished the story. I'm now editing. I'm a significantly like I became a better writer towards the end, so I'm like rewriting the entire story. But it's all good. It had to happen that way. I have a sequential art degree. Damn, perfect. Hey, reach out to Creative Force. You guys should work together. Would you say that AI is a plan from centuries ago? Yeah, AI has existed for a very long time, right? So if you ask, if you like, for example, now Afa divination, a lot of DBS, a lot of DBS like a medicine person, a lot of DBS will tell you that it's AI. They'll say, oh, this is the first AI, right? And the Afa code, which is binary code, is what's used to build computers, to do computation. Is the Alpha code. They'll lie and say it's the I Ching, but I Ching doesn't work on that principle. It's only Alpha that works on that principle. And they know it, but it's been stupid. It was introduced to Europe as geometry from Africa. So, but yeah, what was I gonna say? So yeah, AI has existed for a very long time. Egregores are AI. I don't know if you know what an egregore is. Egregores are AI. There's all types of different AIs that have been used and that kind of thing throughout history. So this is another incarnation of the same concept. It's nothing new. Was all war directed and pre-planned because of time travel? I don't think so. Are there errors in the maths that reveal the true essence of humans? My math skills are not strong enough for me to give you an answer on that. So if you know, let me know. Yes, now you guys have to make it LOL so the generations after you have it in stone. Oh, well, maybe. I hope you're talking to the guys that had the idea, not me. People always like, oh, I have this idea for this thing. You should do it. It's like, no, that's your $1 million idea. You go do your thing, right? And then when you're done doing it, I'll read it and I'll enjoy it, right? Or I'll look at it or whatever. But one of my favorite things is when people send me like creative works. So I've had a lot of people send me excerpts from stories, comic panels. There's this. Oh god, I semi lost contact with him. He might be in the live right now, but he sent me like comic panels he's drawn, and they're just like, is that Creative Force? Is it you? Somebody has sent me their comic panels, and they were like award winning, like they're award winning level, like they're amazing. But I haven't seen it since. So, do you think all dreams have messages, or some can just be strange? I think even the strange ones have messages. I think all of them have messages. All of them have messages, right? All of them have messages. I had a dream. I had the weirdest dream in the world. So my younger brother, who also does YouTube but is not the one you guys may know, my younger brother, some of you guys may know him as well. He's huge, but I have two brothers that are really huge on YouTube. So he was actually just in here trying to troll earlier, but I'm sure Phoenix blocked his ass. But I had a dream that he was bullying. Do you guys know who Dave Blunts, the big guy? That he was bullying Dave Blunts, and I was fed up, and so I got Dave Blunts a wheelchair, and I started like running away with Dave Blunts, and he was like chasing after him to keep bullying him. And so there was this like labyrinth of elevators, and I kept going for one elevator, that kind of thing, and trying to like juke him out. And finally, I juked him out, and I told him to stop, and then he did, and that kind of thing. And I woke up, and I woke up laughing because it was just so stupid. But there's a message there somewhere, right? There's a message there somewhere. I'm currently working on something that relates to people with disabilities, and I think that has something to do with it, right? I think that has something to do with it. And yeah, I got a message from it just because I think about dreams differently. So even something as ridiculous as wheeling around Dave Blunts on a wheelchair, it had meaning for me. So yeah, I think all dreams have meaning. Do you think all people are NPCs without souls? Absolutely not. Connect to da da da. No, I don't think people are NPCs without souls. I think seeing people as NPCs is a very dangerous line of thinking, right? Because I remember when I was in school learning psychology, we were learning about psychopathy, like being a psychopath. And I remember I was like, it sounds like almost like the person and we didn't have the term NPC at the time, and or like as casual slang, it existed. I was like, it's almost like Grand Theft Auto, where like you're the only real person and everything else is just a thing that you can just push over or whatever. It's kind of similar to things like. So now that this concept of calling people NPCs has become pop culture, you're gonna be careful because that's like some psychopath. It's a psychopath. What's the how do they say it now? There's a way they say it. Adjacent? No, not adjacent. Coded. It's psychopath coded. Yeah, yeah, yeah. AI is just linear algebra input and output. Exactly. Yeah, it's always been here. Do you think sleep is the cousin of death? I never sleep because sleep is the cousin of death. A back. I can never think of the songs I like when I want to recall them. But yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, if Nas said it, then it's true. If Nas said it, it's true. Yeah, I think sleep is a small death. I think if you don't fear sleep, you should not fear death. Interesting. I can do geometry easy, but suck at all the forms of math, especially algebra. I've gotten better at math as an adult, but as a child, I struggled with it. But I think my main struggles was just I didn't want to be in school. Once you said everything in life is a ritual, rituals inherently good or bad. Okay, are rituals inherently good or bad? Or neither? I would say neither. A person that is a habitually messy person, what is the ritual there? And is it positive or negative? So I can talk about it on a spiritual level. I can talk about it on the terrestrial kind of level, but they're all the same thing if you understand that. That you can look at the mess as a ritual, but the mess is actually something that was created by ritual, right? Maybe the ritual of dropping things and not picking them up, which is stemmed rooted in the ritual of owning a bunch of things you don't value, right? Which may be rooted in not valuing things, which may be all these different things, but then the action, which has the source, right? The inspiration, and then from there, that inspiration inspires a route of action, right? Now, if you look at the word spirit and inspiration, it's the same word. So there's a spirit that is making a person messy, right? There's a spirit of messiness. And that spirit, like all spirits, has a cyclical nature. It does the same thing over and over and over, right? And so when we are inspired, which is breathing in a spirit, when we take in a spirit, we act like it. We do what it does. So there, we do its ritual, right? We do its ritual. Some rituals also invoke a spirit, right? Now, when I say these things, usually it's attached to like not sci-fi, but horror movie culture and things like that. But don't think it's something scary, right? It's neutral. It's completely neutral. Exercise is a ritual, right? Um, what else? Happiness is a ritual. Happiness is a ritual. If you want to be happy, it is a ritual. It is not an emotion, it is not a state of being, it is a ritual. Happiness is a ritual, right? Or it's a spirit that is invoked by ritual. Depression, sadness, all these different things are invoked by ritual. If you go to counseling, you go to all these different things, they're going to tell you about these cycles of behavior that create this spirit, right? And that's their own Western way of saying it, but it is what it is, right? So ritual is neutral. All things function based on ritual. All realities are created by ritual. That's the best way, not function. All realities are created by ritual, right? And so being a spiritual person is being intentional about what rituals you are engaging in, to the point where you can now engineer your reality based on the rituals that you do. All right? So, I don't know. How does Ogene music relate to Odinani? Somebody mentioned Ogene Bell. I looked it up on YouTube. I found Ogene is a ND Ikaloba cultural group, kind of random, and I dig. Yo, Jermaine, you've gone deep. You've gone deep. So Ogene is one of the names for Chineke, right? Ogene is that's life. That is life. If you want to understand African people, the African spirit, the African culture, the African mind, the African philosophy, right? The Ogene is a two-pronged bell, right? Referred to as Tan and Kom, two bells. We can also say Chineke. We can also say Mado, Mo. We can also say Ala Igwe. We can also say Ofonogun. Every concept in Odinani comes in twos, right? So any concept I give you, right? For example, Agon. Agon is two things. Agon is Ne Agon, referred to as Arobin Agon. and Oke Agun. Oke Agun. Ne Agun is mother Agun. Oke Agun is father Agun, right? Alanigwe, sky and earth, right? Madumo, body, spirit, right? So that bell represents all those things, the two, right? Which is the number of being. And the way ogene is played is the person who holds the ogene is the leader of the band. And that person will start tapping something or singing something, right? And then whoever is holding an instrument, the other people holding in the band, right? Somebody might have something as simple as a bottle or a drum or something. And then based on the ogene, they now start playing their own pattern. The next person plays their pattern based on the music those two are creating and throws theirs in. The next person creates theirs, and then all of a sudden you have this new organism, this new spirit, this new song that emerges from everybody playing at once. And then the ogene player may stop, and then all of a sudden everybody stops except one person. They keep going, that kind of thing. It's jazz, right? It's the same thing as jazz. Now, if you look at what the word jazz means, you're like, oh, okay, I see why they call it that, right? But ogene understand ogene, then you'll understand something that I've been trying to communicate over the past few years, and I don't know if everybody's catching it. Right? I don't know if everybody's catching it, but I've been communicating it for years. So study ogene, study that bell, study that music, because one of the names for Chineke, the creator and creation, is ogene, right? The ogene also is used a lot as an allegory for the lungs. So this takes you into what we refer to as umendo, right? The fact that, like the ogene player controls the tempo and how the music goes, right? Your lungs also control. This is something I'm trying to teach my son right now. Your lungs also control your states of being, all of the different instruments you have in your body that are being played, your heart, your mind, your liver, pancreas, stomach, all that stuff is all dancing to the beat of your lungs, right? If you start breathing fast, all of a sudden your thoughts change, right? Your emotional state changes, and then you're in a different place. But then if you grab the ogene and start playing it at the tempo you want, maybe start breathing slow, all of a sudden your thoughts change again, right? My son is very neurotic, right? He's a he's brilliant genius, but it comes with being very neurotic. It's all one and the same. I don't discourage it, right? Very neurotic. And so one of the things I've been trying to help him with is his breathing, right? Like showing him how much power he has over how he's feeling by way of breathing, right? So put your hands on your head if you start getting worked up, and then breathe until you feel relaxed, right? Just take your deep breath until you feel relaxed. Super powerful, but we ignore it, right? We ignore it. So that's the same way Chuku or Chineke creates and controls all things, is like the ogene, right? So ogene is very powerful, it's very deep. It is my medium, my way of teaching is by speaking, but even the lyrics in the ogene music, right? That's the deep. They goes deep. I just did a translation of Ajofia Newi. I don't know if you guys know what Ajofia Newi is, but look up Ajofia. So what an Ajofia is in English it translates as the evil forest. And what happens is everything that the community wants to get rid of, right? So let's say, trigger warning, somebody has a miscarriage, right? They'll do a ritual where they'll cleanse the land, and then they'll place they'll actually bury what's remaining and so forth in the Ajofia. Let's say somebody has like is like possessed, right? Maybe there's a like an Egwon scene. Like I have this in our so I have this library on Patreon if you guys are interested with all this stuff. And so there's a story about this Egwon sea that was causing a man to be very lazy and immature, and they lifted the spirit from him and they put the spirit in the Ajofia. Or if an abomination is committed, the land is cleansed. Abomination is like murder, incest, and then like desecrating sacred things. They'll sweep up the sand from where it was committed and they'll put it in the Ajofia. So it holds all of the evils, right? All of the things the community doesn't want to deal with. But once a year, though now probably a lot more because Ajofia is like a celebrity, Once a year, the community, Nnewi, it's an Igbo community, they will create this mask, or they have this masquerade that channels their Ajofia, and the Ajofia then comes out and starts speaking to people, right? They start speaking to people. And the Ajofia made an album. It made an album. The album is super successful, and the album has actually been one of the ways people are learning Odinani because it's, oh my god, it's brilliant. So what I've been doing is I've been translating some of those songs into English, and I'm going to be posting them on Patreon, right? And one of the ones I was just listening to, or well, I just translated, it was saying, I'm not going to quote it exactly. I'm going to post this on Patreon, like the exact lines of like, when a great evil, it's super poetic, like when a great evil befalls a forest, um as a head of flame, this head of can hear what is said behind its ears, that can crush palm kernels to make what is it, crush palm kernels to make it stew with its hands or something, or use its head to crush palm kernels and pillars. I'm trying to remember, I'm not quoting this exactly, I'm not doing it justice because it's ill. uh but that this journeyer is unlike man, for it is said that man uses oil to eat its food. What else? Something about like, God, yeah. That man uses oil to eat its food. But if man eats the heart of the horse it took to climb the mountain, how will man overcome this mountain? Has the light in your own head ignited, or something like that? Like he's just saying shit like that is so ill. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna translate these and make it available for the village. The village is our Patreon community. So join patreon.com/the medicine shell. It's a project I'm working on right now, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. Why did I start talking about Ajofia? Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. Oh, back to Ogene. So, the Ajofia teaches by way of speaking and music and Ogene and that kind of thing, right? And it has this very deep, has this very deep voice and that kind of thing. But it's interesting because in a lot of the songs about the Ajofia is just talking about how the Ajofia itself is harmless, that it's not the enemy. I'm not your enemy. That I'm called an evil force, but there's nothing evil about me. I'm a boy that loves. I'm a young boy who loves joy, things like that, and that I'm walking amongst the people to teach them what, or to speak on behalf of their ancestors and that kind of thing. And so just spreads all this wisdom and stuff. But because it dropped an album, because the album's really good, I Joffy as a celebrity, so it tours. It just said I was reconnected, so I don't know if y'all lost me, but I'm here. What if the idea is meant for someone else? Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. You think, but how about this? Go after it, and then you'll know whether or not it's for somebody else. Possibly, I haven't won any awards yet. My teacher's work, DC Marvel. Creative Force. Did you send me? Yeah, if you sent me some of your panels on. The thing is, too, you guys do this where you guys will have different platform, and somebody will be like, it's like, for example, now someone will be like, hey, I hope you got me, 'cause, like, we have an Igbo language class. And they'll be like, hey, I hope you got my name, got me in the seat, but the name they use to talk to me is different from the name they use to sign up, which is different from the name they use to ask. So I'll just be like, wait, what? So Creative Force, I don't know if you're Creative Force on all platforms, but somebody sent me some good ass panels, and it was a while back, but yeah. My teachers worked at Marvel DC until that's dope. That's dope. Would you want to come back to the Earth if you had a choice after this life? Of course. Of course. Yeah, why wouldn't I? How many stars do you rate Earth? Earth is 10 stars now. Earth is 10 stars. How many would you rate it? Becky Simpson. Hey Becky, good seeing you. Some dreams are crazy. I had a dream that I went to an alkaline trio. I went to an alkaline trio concert and they all wore like Matrix Nazi uniforms. Then I went backstage and there was a note saying that I was to send potato salad to starving kids in Africa. Yeah, 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 yeah. Try it, you know? Diana, good seeing you. Udonna. What all can we learn by knowing our river of reincarnation? It's a source of strength and it's a source of connection. And so, whatever it is that the river has for each person is going to be unique to that person. But keeping contact with that river and being able to access that river is important. Do you mean like your physical river or your EUA? Your EUA? I think you mean EUA. I think you mean EUA. So knowing your EUA, I mean, where do I begin? So knowing your EUA, for example, when people say, "Oh, this is an Uriya person, this is an Afal person, this is an Unqua person," that's what they're referring to. So those who don't know, the idea is that we believe in reincarnation. We believe that a person reincarnates through four paths, Eke, Uriya, Afal, Unqua. And each of those paths, you can visualize them in your own cosmic imagination, however you do. Some people call them doors, some people call them rivers, some people call them markets. So, understanding your river, right? If you came through the Eke path, that will teach you a lot about yourself. And like I said, with the physical river, it's also a source of connection and strength. So, for example, there are some people who, when you're by water, you feel peace and connection, right? This thing that we call spiritual connection. Some people feel it when they're near water. Some people feel it when they're in nature. Some people feel it at a mountaintop or an elevated peak, right? Some people feel it by breathing. Some people feel it in by sunlight or by candlelight. You notice some people's approach to spirituality has a lot of candles, another person has a lot of water. All the reason each person does their own different is because there's an element that you as a person are connected to. And when you want to connect spiritually, right, you connect, right? It feels goofy or it doesn't feel like you. That's because that's not you, right? But then all of a sudden you go to the ocean and you feel this thing, right? Something else happens to you. For me, right, when I tried to do like my altar like everybody else's, and all of this didn't really come alive for me until I turned my altar and my garden into the same thing. Because I always have like a little balcony garden where I grow like food, like plant tomatoes and peppers and stuff like that. And I decided that that's going to be my altar. And then all of a sudden, this all came alive for me. So I know I have a connection to like soil and nature and things like that, right? Some people don't have that same connection. They're connected to something else, right? So understanding your EUI, you go to it and it gives you that connection, right? Those who are connected to water, you'll notice as they advance in their practice, they're going to the river to do what they do, right? They're going to the river to do their prayers. They're going to the river to do their connection. Anything they do, they include the river. They include water. They make because that's 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 the door you okay. You came from your source through that door. That's the door back to your source. Okay. So Diana, very good question. Thank you for that. Narcissistic native voodoo magic. Yes. I can see your face. It's all blurry in pixels. My rude ass neighbor is about to come home. They never greet anybody. So if you're comfortable with mess and understand the source spirit there, yeah, some spirits like your spirit could also just be messy. Some people that's just who they are, right? Your own more could just be one that's messy. It's always good to know what the source of actions are, right? Some things are you, some things are not, but some things that are not you, you understand to be you because that's all you've ever known, right? So do a lot of examining and see where it comes from. Um, but yeah, like I myself, right? I understand that if my office is messy, my spirit is low. And it's not because my office is messy, it's because my spirit is low. It's just something I've noticed. I had an apartment I lived in where like I couldn't do my balcony altar because like I had to share a balcony with my neighbor and the balcony was this big and they were outside all day smoking cigarettes. I was like, this doesn't feel right. So I had my altar inside. Um, and in that apartment, that's when I started noticing that if this place is messy, it means there's something's off in me, right? It's a gauge of me. I use it to gauge where I am, where I am spiritually, how connected I am to my chi, right? How connected I am to my source. I use the gauge. So if it's messy, something's wrong. It's just what I've noticed. If it's clean, it's right. It's not because of the mess. It's just that when my spirit is not in the right place or it's not vibrating as high as I'd like it to be, things tend to get messier, right? For some people, it could be the other way around. For some people, it could be the other way around, right? A mechanic prides themselves in how messy they are because it shows that they're really getting busy, right? So it's different for all people. Figuring out which one you are, using these things to gauge yourself works best. Udonangazi, what all can we know by learning our river and reincarnation? Dan, I think I already answered that. What's the name of the album? It's just Ajofia Newi, Ajofia space Nnewi. And I think there's a volume one and a volume two. A volume one and a volume two. Can you talk about the connection of there's like they made a music video back in the day that's now become really popular. Ajofia as a star. Can you talk about the connection of spiritual web and string theory? Becky, you're going deep. Becky, I don't know. Are you on Patreon? I don't. I would like to see you come to the group studies. I don't know if you come to the group study or not, but it'd be nice to have you like your questions. What was I talking about? Okay, so it's you guys that make the connection between string theory and the concept of ete, right? So in Odinani, we understand that everything is made up of strings, right? Every single thing is made up of these strings. The universe has these strings all over the place, both visible and invisible, that connect all things. The same way that the human body has strings running all throughout it, your nervous system, your blood system, even the arrangement of like cells, plant cells, things like that, they look like strings. Everything, if you zoom out of the galaxy, you now see, or not the galaxy, the universe, you'll now see that the galaxies all connect to each other. There's energy exchange and it looks like strings and that kind of strings, right? So all things are a tapestry of strings known as ogodokomosu. So earlier Diana asked a question and your EU was the same thing, right? As your string. Some people refer to it as a string, some people say river, some people and yeah, and so all these things are connected by way of these strings. All things are created by way of these strings. All things are arranged by an arrangement of strings. Now, some of you guys have pointed to parallels between it and string theory. I don't understand string theory enough to say, yes, this is what it is. I think string theory relates to this idea that after the atomic level, if you go lower than the atom, there are these things called quarks, I think, and that they are like strings, and that those strings make up everything. So this is something our ancestors were saying since the very beginning of time, right? The very beginning of time. And there is also, it's funny enough that somebody in the village, our Patreon community, taught me this, right? I didn't even realize it myself initially. They realized it first and brought it to me. This idea that there's this, our ancestors talk about this cosmic spider, right? Known as Udide Okanka, right? Great spider, master weaver. So there's this great spider that is constantly expanding and repairing this tapestry, this big cloth that we're all on, this fabric known as Ogodokomosu, the cloth of Chuku or Komosu that we were talking about earlier, right? And there's a spider that's constantly spinning and expanding it, and when it rips, it goes and repairs it and so forth, right? And that this person tied this together and said that that's Agun, right? And I asked the person, well, what makes you think it's Agun? He's like, well, it has 8 legs, but it's actually 2 sets of 4, right? 4 legs, 4 hands, 4 legs, 4 hands. And if you look at a lot of figurines of Agun, you can see that that's depicted very well. I was like, oh my God, that's true. Which then ties to Anansi in Ghana and that kind of thing and all that stuff, right? And so those strings, right, have this thing, the universe's healing mechanism is Agun. The universe's healing mechanism is Agun, right? And that healing mechanism manifests at the highest level Azudide or Kanka, and then at lower and lower or smaller, let me not say lower, smaller and smaller levels. Like for example, when you cut yourself, you'll now see your own natural healing mechanism start shooting these strings across, and all of a sudden you're healed, right? It patches over, and so on and so forth. The idea is that thing that happens to a scar is a universal mechanism, right? And those strings are what comprise all findings. A lot of people who study Odinani, in my own findings, there is no difference between ete and mo. There is no difference between ete and mo. Mo is spirit. So that string is actually your spirit. How do I know this? One, I be knowing things. Two, there's this idea that your moi is everywhere you have been and everywhere you are going. Just like if you're walking on a road, right? Everywhere you have been, everywhere you are going. Just like if you're a string, a river, all of that stuff. It's all a flow moving through existence, right? So your moi is your ete. I think your moi is your ete, and your moi is your iua, your that kind of thing. So when we say eke ori afo onko, these are different types of moi that a person comes into the world with. If you also follow Igbo numerology, you'll also see, or I'm sorry, the not numerology and the layers of moi, you'll kind of see it a lot more clearly, right? If especially once you get past like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, like okay, that's what it is. But that's a whole different discussion. So yeah, that's it there. Derek, you never posted that Rastafarian podcast. Oh my God, Brandon, thank you so much. Yes, you're correct. Hold on, can't make a note to myself. I'll post it. I'll post it. I'll post it. Hello, friend. How are you? I'm good. How are you doing? Uh huh. Mr. Boss, glad you're okay. Cool. My spirit mostly feels indifferent, but will clean only if someone else may be present to see the mess. So, Brandon, not to call you out, right? But I would check that. I would check that because there is, when that happens, you have to ask yourself, is it that is it that the judgment of this person is more important than that of my own? Because it's, if your chi was naturally just messy, you wouldn't feel that things need to not be messy for it to be presented. Does that make sense? Right? To be in a better state. Cleanliness wouldn't be an improvement for you, right? So oftentimes that's like, for me, I use these things to gauge where I'm at as a person, right? So if you feel more urged to clean when people are coming over, the question then is, why are you yourself, or you and the presence of your chi, if your chi is coming over, which it's always coming over, it's always there, why is that not worthy of the cleanliness, if that makes sense, right? So I'm not saying that that's your motivation, but I would check that thought, because if it was natural, if the indifference, all that stuff was, if it was natural, right? You wouldn't even clean when people come over, and you'll meet people like that, right? A lot of homeless people are like that. That's their cheap. You understand? That's the you understand that kind of thing, right? Um, a lot of DBAs, their work, the where they work is usually kind of messy, that kind of thing. Like I said earlier, mechanics, things like that. But if you, the mechanics not going to, oh, people are coming over, I need to clean. It's just, this is the mechanic shop, right? That's what it is. So check that, right? Because we do that a lot. I'm using your example to kind of speak on something that I realized a few years ago too, is whose eyes are the most important in my life, right? If my dad or my mom are coming over and I feel the need to clean then, or I feel the urge to clean then, why did I not feel the urge to clean when I woke up for myself, right? And it's not, oh, well, they'll judge you this way. Okay, so then why is their judgment that much more important, right? Why is it that much more important, right? So once I started thinking about it like that, I kind of had a paradigm shift about cleaning, right? And now I understand that when I don't clean, something's off. Something's off, something's wrong, right? Oh, never mind. It doesn't mean I'm like super tidy and super clean, right? Like right now, my office is not clean, right? Things are off. I'm in the middle of moving. We're about to start classes for Kedu. There's a lot going on. I'm also in school, and that kind of thing. Now, I've learned based on the way my brain works, I'm at my best when I have a crammed up schedule. But things are off. I haven't shared this. I don't want to make this all sad, but I lost somebody that was very close to me earlier this summer, and that that threw me off a lot. And that kind of thing. So just there's a lot going on, and my office is not clean, and I know that that's a measure of that I'm how off I am at the moment, right? So, Ajofia Newi, thank you for typing that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm on Patreon. I keep missing the classes because I'm on the East Coast. I'm still figuring out the time changes. Okay, Becky, no problem. Yeah, yeah, no, I like your question, so it'd be cool if you can stop by. Quarks is out there he goes. Okay, so with the bit about Aghon being the one who repairs and tears, nice, repairs those tears, would it be possible to be a healer kind of person connected to all healers are connected to Aghon? Becky, do you understand that? All healers are connected to Aghon. So the same way that that universal healing mechanism manifests as Udide Okanka, and then it manifests on my skin as the scarring process, right? It's the same way that in a community, there's a person that emerges that has this calling to heal, whatever nature you call the healing. That person is a human form of all of those different mechanisms, right? All of those different mechanisms. It's just like the same energy or the same essence in different forms. And in the human form, that person, why is my seatbelts on in my parking lot? But a community form, in the human form, that person manifests as the healer. So yeah, it's the same mechanism. That's the same mechanism, right? Um, Also, the roots are connected to this mechanism too. So we get a lot of root medicine and that kind of thing. It's all the same manifestation, the same energy. Yeah. So John said, "Yep, yeah, you got it." May you talk about Opopo, Opo, the branches of the Aghon. Also, when people say simply Aghon, are we generally meaning Aghoism? Yeah, when I say Aghon, I'm talking about Aghoism typically, right? Aghoism or agumado, a person's own agum, right? So, but if I say agum, I'm saying aguism. If you understand aguism, you'll understand agum. It's all agum, Mary, all these different manifestations of agum, right? Because it's the same essence playing the same role in different places, right? Now, as far as I don't know anything too much about that. Is that like an Irish or something? Something that comes and goes. Yeah, Agon. Yeah. Yeah, something that shoot. Agon. Ilua. Life, death. Yeah, so a form of Agon. I couldn't tell you any more details other than deciphering the name. So yeah. Call me out, I can take it. I'll do my real as F. I'm here. Sorry for your loss. I appreciate it, Jermaine. It's all good. Okay, that's great. Makes sense. Can you tell a story? Can I tell you my story of coming to a? Oh, Malicha, yeah, please do, please do. I'm really interested in hearing. The person that said sorry for your loss, yeah, I appreciate it. I'll share it with you guys. My my ex girlfriend passed away, and we dated in my like early 20s, for a long time, and we fell out of communication. We're very on and off, and whenever we meet each other we start dating again. So we just decided to just cut each other off. And but she actually came into, before she passed, she came into my live. One time I was live, she came in And she's like, hey, this is me. I'm like, oh, hey, welcome. She's like, hey, this is really cool that you're doing this and da 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 da. And I'm like, thank you. And then later I heard that was it. So yeah, that's been since spring. It happened in the spring. Happened in February actually, and then I heard about it weeks later, which I wasn't super happy about, but I get it. We weren't in communication anymore. And then, yeah, I've just been dealing with that. And it's been kind of weird. It's very weird to mourn. It feels strange mourning your ex as a married man. So you kind of have to do it alone, right? I appreciate it, Brandon. You stated that we act on forces that are anti-life. Okay, you stated that we act on forces that are anti-life. What is anti-life? Macro, micro? Are all people at the same time perspective victim anti-life forces? Um, Brandon, I'm having a hard time remembering what you're referring to. Speaking on things that are anti-life. I don't know if did I say that today, right? I know that in the Igbo context, we gauge things based on if it gives life or takes life, right? And that's a good way of gauging if something is that's rough, man. Yeah, that's all I appreciate it, man. She's Muslim too, for me, because I'm not from that tradition, but like they bury him right away. So I was like, okay, can I go to her funeral? No, they were. I'm like, oh, yeah, duh. So yeah, our family's Muslim, and so they buried her immediately. And then they're very secretive about it and quiet about and just some African shit. And so that's been tough too, because it's like I can't even talk to them about it either, right? I haven't been able to talk to them. Um, and I was semi close to her sister, two of her sisters, but they don't want to talk. That's I can respect their wishes for not wanting to talk, that kind of thing. But it's kind of just like sometimes like I'm like on an island, like that kind of thing. So it's been tough. It's been tough. Of responsibility is what you said. Okay, so do you want to elaborate? Do you want to elaborate on that idea? Like, yes, we have the responsibility to stop things that take life. Absolutely, right? Even in the Igbo language, somebody had said earlier about language determining how you speak. The word "bu" means to kill, but is used for anything like if it's painful, if it's annoying, if it's just anything that's just taking life from me, right? Anything that's taking life is "bu." Anything that's sapping my joy is "bu." Life itself is joy, right? That kind of thing. Hope you feel better soon. I've been feeling better, I've been feeling better, but you go through the mourning process and then you realize how deep in it you were. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm talking about it. But yeah, it was strange. Wedding